What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of GameSlean TV. This is GameSlean TV for March 13th, 2014. Up tonight, we've got news of the week as usual, and then later on, we've got two blockbuster games. We're going to be talking about South Park: The Stick of Truth, and then we're going to be talking about Titanfall. So let's get started. First up, it's the news.
Bad news for all you Witcher fans, because it looks as though The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt will not be released this year. Developer CD Projekt announced the third installment of the franchise will be released in February of 2015. I personally have never played any of these games, so it doesn't matter that much to me, but what do you guys think? I don't know.
Wasn't it supposed to be out, like...
Yeah.
they were scheduled for this holiday, right? Wasn't it supposed to be out later this year?
I mean, whatever. If they want to delay it for quality reasons, I'm okay with that. Plus, it gives me extra time to upgrade my computer and or get a true next-gen system. So, whatever. I mean, if I had the hardware ready to go, I'd be a bit more bummed. But since I'm I'm still kind of going with the last-gen stuff for some of the last-minute games being released, I'm okay with it. As long as it comes out as a good product in the end, I'm sure the delay will be worth it.
I still need to play the second game, which you keep recommending to me.
I still need to play the first and the second.
Yeah.
In the middle of the first.
Agreed.
But my Xbox 360 is broken, so there's nothing I can do about that.
The Fulbright Company announced this week that its indie hit of 2013, Gone Home, will be making its way to consoles. At this time, no official dates have been set for release or which consoles the game will be released for.
Yeah, we posted this news article to our site. I don't have any idea what this game even is. What the heck is this thing?
Sequel to Myst.
No, it's not.
Hate Myst.
It came out last year
First
on
of
PC.
all, it's not actually a game either.
You got something to say about it?
Yeah, I do.
Xander knows.
I watched the best Jogs cast member play a Let's Play this, so
Yeah, here we go.
I may as well have played it. Just like that piece of shit, Dear Esther. It's not actually a game. It's like a visual novel where you walk around clicking on stuff and hearing voiceovers.
Great.
Hey, Snatcher was a visual novel, and that game was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with this.
But this game is, I don't have a PC, so I can finally play it on a console. I don't know which one, but I can hopefully play it.
Looked pretty good. Probably should play it.
And last but certainly not least, congratulations to Stallion83 for being the first person ever to get 1 million gamer points on his Xbox Live account. That happened earlier today during his live stream of Titanfall.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like this guy just decided he was going to do this, so...
Who the hell is this guy?
Who
It's
cares?
just crazy. That's so many hours that somebody has spent.
Yeah. It's
I
How do you
can't
even
imagine.
how do you even attempt to actually do this? What do you have to specifically get achievements, or is it just you play Xbox so often?
Step one,
must be
have
It's a full-time job.
have
yeah,
no
I feel like
life,
it's both.
and then
Well, good luck to him.
Yeah, I guess that's cool, million
Best of
points,
luck
but
to
Got a million points, you got $0.
whatever, million points. You know what? If you keep getting those high scores, the hot sauce king Billy Mitchell's coming for you.
All right, guys, now it's time for the reviews. Let's talk about South Park: The Stick of Truth.
This game was awesome. Seriously, I mean, how many times did we talk about this last year? Like, it was brought up in multiple episodes.
It got
and
delayed multiple times as
It
well.
did get delayed multiple times. It was worth the hype and worth the wait, in
Definitely.
my humble opinion.
What was awesome about it was that it was short and the gameplay was super simple, so anybody could play it. You didn't have to be like a big RPG fan to get it, and it was like totally accessible for anybody.
There's like lots of like, it kind of like mocked Skyrim. It had like lots of kind of like, I guess, Easter eggs, I guess you could say. Like little hidden
Easter eggs.
like things, just like, you know, if you were a fan of the show, like just it encompassed like every season of the show, which was kind of cool.
There's Chin Pokemon to collect.
Yeah, I know.
Need to find all of them.
All
Can't
Shin
wait to find
Pokemon.
all of them.
It's
The intro video looked like He-Man.
actually, correction on that.
No?
It's
The Hobbit?
It's supposed to be Ralph Bakshi's animated version of Lord of the Rings.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Was it the same?
Jeff,
as the
Jeff,
You are
Jeff
a
with the
huge
facts.
nerd.
Wasn't that the same? The Hobbit.
No,
they
it was
had
a different.
Hobbit?
It was a
Was
different person.
one?
Yeah, no,
It
there-
wasn't the guy who did the dragons. Remember dragons?
No,
I'm even nerdy.
that's before everybody's time. Sorry.
Yeah, these were like 1977.
No, but it was yeah. The intro got me sucked into it right away. Right when I saw the intro, I was like, oh,
No.
this Lord of the Rings movie done in South Park style. This is the best. It was.
I mean, it was awesome how it looked like the show, but question, I mean, I guess this is kind of sport. Did you guys join Kyle or Cartman?
Cartman.
Oh, I joined Kyle.
Wow.
What are you gonna do?
Great reaction.
exciting stuff.
This game.
Action packed.
I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
Well, I have a question because you finished it. So what is like? I'm not done with it yet, but
Okay.
I plan on finishing it because I love
Good.
it, obviously. But like, I'm wondering, in your opinion, what do you think the replay value of the game is? I guess.
Well,
Doesn't seem
I
like
don't,
there's
I don't
much.
think there's any
Because I
replay
feel like-
value
Yeah, it's- I
to
mean,
it.
there
I don't
is
know.
replay
Like that's how I am
I
with
mean,
RPGs.
other than just like enjoying the game and enjoying the show.
but
I mean, in terms of story, I'm sure like, I mean, that's gonna be the same. But like,
Right.
there's tons of stuff to collect and like. You know, tons of,
yeah,
like, secret stuff.
there's collectibles to find. I don't think there's really much for like alternative like dialogue or mission paths. I feel like if you switch it up, who's your second character in your party, it may switch up the dialogue a little bit. But the way I look at it is, I mean, when I finished this game, it was like 15 hours. I definitely wanted to play more, but at the same time, it left me wanting more. I didn't feel like there was any filler. To me, it was like watching a season of South Park.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Was
is
it
awesome.
funny?
It was
It was
hilarious.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Better. I mean, it's a comedy TV show. I think.
Oh,
I mean, it's like if you're familiar with South Park, you should know what to expect.
Trey
Like,
Parks
Yeah.
and Matt
Very
Stone
offensive,
helped write it, so I
It
mean,
seemed
you're gonna.
completely authentic to the show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
was
yeah,
involved.
and it's like Nick was saying, it's like a simplified RPG, but there's enough customization where you can mix up. You can try the different classes and try a few of the different skills that are
So
available.
let's talk about the classes. There are 4 classes in this
And
game.
they
right?
don't
I
Yes.
noticed.
There's
don't
warrior, thief,
Fighter.
fighter,
And
and
Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
highly
no, it was
corrected
warrior,
political
thief,
terms.
mage, and yes, Jew.
Yeah, and it's
So what
Wait,
were the
did
abilities
any-
that the Jewish guy
Yeah, did
gets?
anyone
pretty much
play
the abilities.
as
Like you just get like
Jew?
Of
different,
course
like,
he did.
attacks,
I played as
like,
a
Yeah.
Jew.
What
Yeah,
did you
of course.
think?
Like your
It was
attacks
awesome.
are slightly different, but
I saw that and I thought, so what I think would be funny would be to kind of, you know, for reparations, as it were, like you could have the Jewish guy be like secretly, if you knew how to use him, the most powerful character. But I don't think they got that involved
No, it's
because it is South Park and
But
they're just
that-
going to make a cheese ball.
That's what it
thing
was so
on it.
awesome about. They kept everything super simple, like
Yeah.
gameplay and things like that. And they really focused
Well,
on like the
yeah.
comedy aspect
Yeah,
of it.
it to me it was almost like a combination of Mario RPG and if anyone's played them, the Penny Arcade
Yeah, I played
role
some
playing
of those.
games that
Yeah,
came
I
out a few
played some.
years
Yeah,
ago.
actually, now that you mention it, it is a lot sort of flashy like that, like where it's just sort of 2D and walking through a painted scene. Sort of.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, it was very RPG light, correct? Like it wasn't a full blown RPG.
I can see how you say Mario RPG because it's like you get a couple
Yeah.
of pennies. It's like very real world sort of based RPG where it's
Yeah.
not,
I mean, it's like
it's not a
you're
fantasy
LARPing.
realm at
Yeah,
all.
you're
Yeah, I mean, that's
LARPing.
like the
That's
charm of it too.
well, you
like,
start
you're-
out as your LARPing,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then Taco Bell tries to take over, but you gotta play the game to see the conclusion to that.
I like there was some product placement with like UPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny, like
Yeah,
in video games.
I
We
mean,
had a
it's
whole discussion
if
about
you
that.
if you see it in the show, it probably will appear at some point in the game. There's so many references.
The shake weight.
Just like all like the
Shake
little
weight.
items that like
Shake
don't really
weight.
matter. They're just like junk that you can sell to make money, and there's like so many things from like the show. I mean, even just like characters, like one of the collectibles are like all the Chim Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Like that's like
Those I
so
don't
early
know.
on in the show, and like they incorporate it in the game, which is kind of cool.
If you look in one of their closets, and you can see like a lot of the characters, you can look in their closet to see what's in there. Like someone had like one of the characters, it was like Kenny or it might have been Stan. They had their finger bang visor, just like kind of
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
off in the background. I
Oh,
thought that
nice.
was pretty funny.
There was a ton of that. Like
Yeah.
all the guys that had closets, or there were other ones that had like Butters has his drum set in his garage and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole bunch of stuff like that.
So what is the usefulness of pooping?
You can hurl it at your enemies. To gross
Oh,
them out.
because
Yeah.
I noticed
Yeah.
that early on, like,
Pooping and farting.
you could poop
Yeah.
in a
For,
toilet
like,
and
fart
take
bombs.
it.
So many
people.
parts. In this.
Yeah,
As you do.
You poop. You collect the poop, and you can throw the poop on your enemies to gross them out.
Yeah.
Which in this
Sort
game
of like a
version of
dazed move. You
No,
know?
it's
and all
actually
the magic
it's a
is
poison.
farting. All
Yeah.
the magic
Poison.
is farting.
Okay, right. So
Yeah.
it has the lingering health.
Yeah.
attraction.
They get a little smelly
That's
waves
funny.
So
around
many
them.
turns.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it's something else.
Kenny's
I
a
hope
girl
they make-
in the game.
Yeah, he
Kenny
is.
girl. I like that Butters is there from the beginning, basically.
Oh yeah.
Butters is like definitely one of my favorite characters in the show. So
Who's
I was
who
glad.
so far? Who's everybody's favorite partner in the game? Because you can switch between a few of the characters.
I always use Butters like for
Butters.
everything.
Jimmy. Yeah.
I never
Not there
really used
yet.
Jimmy for anything.
Dude, Jimmy
Not
rules.
there yet.
I
Like, and let's just talk about like the cutscenes with Jimmy. Like we were talking about like just like you sat through the whole thing.
you just sit there. You gotta play it to
Yeah.
watch it. But if you know Jimmy's speech patterns, you'll probably get where it's going. I just sat through it.
Let's just say there's no achievements.
No, there is no achievements for sitting through that. So when the skip button pops up, don't feel bad if you use it.
You
So
eventually
Jeff, Jeff, I have a question for you. So I didn't get a chance to play the game yet. Now my question to you, and I'm directing this to you since you seem very excited about this game, is Randy Marsh a playable character?
He's not a playable
No.
character, but if you're a Randy Marsh fan, which I am, you get your fill. And
All right, good.
he does too.
That's really that's really like
No
that's
spoilers.
that's like a make it or break it type thing
Oh,
for me about the game.
No,
So
I mean, Tom, you're a South Park fan, right? You enjoy it?
Yeah.
I mean, if
of
you
course.
like the stuff with Randy and like, I mean, it's good. It's some of the best South Park content, and I'm a fan of the show up to present. I still enjoy the new episodes. This is some of the best stuff they've put out in a while, though. I like the past few seasons. I think this game is better than those past few seasons, though, and it is kind of its own standalone thing, which is awesome.
Right. Does Randy produce any ectoplasm?
There is ectoplasm in the game.
There is.
There is, yeah,
It's not Randy Marsh ectoplasm, though.
All right, good. Sounds like I gotta get it.
I mean, for me, like South Park, I never really watched the show, but it's one of those things like when I do watch it, I always think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like I really follow, and like the game is just like that. Like it's awesome. It's really hard to not like this game.
It was good. I mean, I couldn't put it down. I mean, it wasn't the longest game. I played through it in like 2 days, and I enjoyed like every single bit of it. There was no downtime. Nothing that felt like filler.
You took work off for this, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did take work off for this, and it was
Dedicated.
fabulous.
See, when I first ended, I was like, oh, I want more. But then thinking about it now, it's like I think it was to me the perfect length. Like I don't think if they added too much,
Would it
I
have
think
gotten boring if it was much more of a game and it
I
just
don't-
really kept
you
going
know,
and you're like, oh yeah. it's
That's
getting
hard to
repetitive.
say.
maybe. I
Or
mean, you
could
could go either
could
way.
You do installments later, you would have like follow-ups.
I mean, if
Or
they,
is it a final end? Is it
it's a
really
pretty
just
final end, but it's
Okay.
South Park. They could easily do like an episode that takes place after. If they do any DLC or if they do a sequel, I will definitely be playing with it because honestly, there was like no disappointment in this game for me.
The only thing I had trouble with were the QTE segments. We had to like control.
Yeah, those felt a little forced.
Those
at times.
were kind of awkward, and I was like,
Yeah.
"There's no." I guess that's my only complaint about the game was like, I wish they made it more simpler. I don't know.
I mean, they were pretty simple, but for
Well,
whatever
like,
reason,
when,
they kind of like broke up the game in a weird way.
Yeah, something about them, like it was like, I don't know. I wasn't getting them at first. It took me a while to
Yeah.
to figure out like how to control it. But once I did, they were pretty easy.
I personally didn't have any problems, but I know QTs aren't for everybody. I think they had to put them in there though because not only if you watch South Park, if you pay attention at all, it's very satirical and it's always a parody of what's currently going on. And a lot of video games use the QTs now, especially like God of War.
They're
those-
definitely overused.
Yeah, they're used a lot. So I feel like they had to put them in there. The way I looked at it is everything they did was some sort of satire, so even forcing stuff like that. And I didn't feel like they got like overly obnoxious or anything, but it was, yeah. I mean, they're not for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so then overall, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's safe to say this is probably the defining South Park game. Because there have been a couple other ones, right?
Well, my
And-
favorite
I
ones.
mean, the N64 one.
Those were my favorite ones.
That game
Really?
rules.
South Park
I don't know.
Pinball's
That was
awesome.
one of my
There
favorite
were
games for
South
64.
Park 64, South Park Chef's Love Shack, which was like a quiz type game, which I remember looked kind of like the show. I was impressed with that. It's not good.
It's
And-
sort of funny to think that South Park has been around that long.
Yeah.
I watched the first season, not all of it, some of it when it first came out, and I was like, oh, this show's crazy. But to know that the first game they did was on a Nintendo 64.
Oh yeah.
It's been around forever.
Or South Park Rally, the kart
racing
racing
game,
game, which was not good at all.
This
but
is definitely the best South Park game.
Oh,
This is-
by far.
I'd definitely like to see more games like in this like type of play style.
it's an awesome
Like,
game on itself, but just the fact that it's in South Park makes it better.
When we first started hearing about this, Matt and Trey had said that they weren't interested in doing another game ever again, unless they could get the the graphics or then the visuals to match. And I think Obsidian pulled it off here, definitely.
Yeah, they
And
definitely
you
did
can
it.
definitely see the results. And this is a product of, I mean, right here is a perfect example of like a video game made with a license and using the license properly, where they actually involve the people who made the original IP and like, it's not just hiring it out to a group of developers to say, make a game based on this franchise and,
All right,
they
quick,
put it
make a shitty game.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those.
Capitalize on the popularity of this one.
Exactly, and this is an instance where it's like an actual like really good game. And, South Park just adds to it, and it's awesome. I mean, I can't really say it
No,
enough,
you
but
can't.
it's really good.
All right, then let's put up our scorecard. What are we going to say on this, guys? South Park: The Stick of Truth is a must-buy.
must buy.
Must buy,
Definitely.
definitely.
Yep.
So there you go, guys. That's South Park: The Stick of Truth. Okay, so now let's talk about Titanfall. Holy crap, guys. All right, so from the time it was announced, the hype for this game was about as high as it could go. One of the things that set that off was Xbox's Major Nelson saying, "Have you seen Titanfall?" in an interview last E3. And that quote gained a lot of traction on GAF and some other game forums. A couple weeks ago, they did a beta, and that was pretty well received, but now the game is here, so let's take a look. Now, for those of you who don't know, these are the original Call of Duty guys. A few years back, after shipping Modern Warfare 2, they had some disagreements with Activision, so they left Infinity Ward, they got some backing from Electronic Arts, and they formed Respawn. So with that in mind, one thing I can say right off the bat is the game is Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty, but there's enough new stuff added in that it brings something different to the table. So the first thing I think we should say is that the game is multiplayer only. So if you don't like online multiplayer games, then you're probably not going to be interested in this. And I'll start things off with the graphics. No complaints. I played this on Xbox One. This is what a next-gen game should look like. Everything in the levels is very highly and precisely detailed. Overall, the graphics are excellent. One thing I noticed, though, when you're riding on the back of a Titan, things can get a bit crazy. I couldn't really determine if that was just due to tons of stuff moving around too fast or if it's an actual graphics issue, but either way, just be aware of that.
They turn on that motion blur shit.
Yeah, I don't know. There was
Well,
a
you're on console, so you can't turn it off.
probably, I don't know. There was a couple times where I was clipping. I think there was just so many explosions and stuff happening that I was clipping into one of the other Titans or into the Titan that I was actually riding on. So if you get close to them, that's where it seems problems start to come up. But overall, though, everything is really good. It's just that one part where it tends to get chaotic. So let's talk about the gameplay. There's two main modes. There's campaign and classic. When I saw campaign on the menu, I was like, what the hell? But actually, there is a campaign, so to speak. So you pick the side you want to be on, and you play a series of matches where there's a little bit of narration before, during, and after the game. So it fleshes out the world a little bit more and adds to the gameplay, but mostly you're just doing the same stuff. The other mode they have is called Classic, and it's really just all the same stuff. It's just they add a little bit of background and just some more things to the gameplay when you're playing in campaign. So the other thing is the campaign unlocks things like weapons and additional Titans, so you definitely want to spend some time on the campaign unlocking all this stuff. So let's talk about the classic modes. There's attrition, which is just your standard deathmatch. There's last Titan standing, where everyone starts in a Titan, and then whichever team still has a Titan at the end wins. There's hardpoint, which is capture and hold the objective, capture the flag, and then there's another one called Pilot Hunter, where you rack up kills only by killing your opposing pilots. So the last one, they do have another one called Variety, which is just a mix of all the different modes. So actually, all the modes are actually pretty good. Okay, so let's talk about the Titans. Once you get enough points by racking up kills, your Titan finishes getting built, and then you can call it down. So once it arrives, you can actually pilot it yourself, or you can have it follow you around. You can also have it hold position, but I didn't really use that one a whole lot. So obviously if you're piloting the Titan directly, you have much more firepower against other pilots that aren't in a Titan, but against other Titans is where it really gets interesting. This is where you really need to pick and choose your upgrades and use them to your advantage. But one thing I like to do is put my Titan in follow mode, and then I just set up shop in a building next door, so everybody just focuses on the Titan while I'm sitting there, and they don't realize that you're not actually in it.
Picking
You're
people
just,
off.
Yeah. So it just draws everybody's attention away, and while they're trying to deal with that, you're just shooting them from the side or from behind or whatever. So it's really these two dynamics, either just running around as a pilot or using your Titan, makes things much more involved than just straight running gutting like you do in a standard FPS. They got another thing in there called burn cards that you get by completing challenges. So you can pick up to 3 of them and take them with you per game. They grant different status effects that go away once you get killed. Another cool thing the game does is at the end of the match, the losing team gets a chance to try and make it to their extraction point and escape on their dropship. And if they do, they get some bonus experience points, but the winning team can try and stop them. So this is another new idea that I don't think has really been done before. So we talked about the hype. If you've got the Xbox One and you like these types of fast-paced multiplayer shooters, there's absolutely no reason not to buy this game. I think the more important question is if you don't yet have the Xbox One or a PC that can handle it and you don't want to bother with this 360 version, do you go out and buy an Xbox One just so you can play this game? Well, the answer is it depends. Now, Microsoft is smart. They've got a bundle out for this, so you can get the game and the console. So for some people, that's going to be a really good deal. I'd say if you're the type of gamer who likes online games, you like fast-paced shooters, and yes, you definitely get your money's worth with this one. On the other hand, if you aren't really big on multiplayer and you really wish it had that offline single player, you should check it out at a friend's place first and see if you really have to have your own copy. So to sum up, yes, definitely a must play, but I don't think it's a must buy for everyone. All right, looks like that's going to do it for this week. Guys, check out our website at GameSlean TV. Follow us on Twitter at GameSlean. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Any other final words?
Nope.
Chin Pokemon.
Yes, Jim Pokemon.
Definitely that.
I need a next gen.
Yeah, so do I. I
me
need
too.
something.
Yep.
My PC can't handle that shit.
Time to upgrade.
Guys, thanks for joining us. Keep playing, and we'll see you next time on GameSlean.